Right, guys, I'm not too sure many people saw that result coming 41 minutes into the game when Newcastle took the lead through a Fabian Schär free kick. But yeah, Tottenham responded remarkably well to going 1-0 down after an incredibly dull first half an hour to the game. The free kick definitely woke Spurs up a bit. Hugo Lloris, I thought possibly could have done a bit better with it, but no, I'm not sure you can put the full blame on him for it. It was a well taken free kick by Schär, to be fair. But Spurs' response was brilliant. A superb cross by Heung-Min for Ben Davies, and a good glancing header by Davies, to be fair. I can't remember Davies scoring too many goals for Spurs, to be honest, but I think he did score against Newcastle at St James's Park about probably 4 or 5 years ago now, on the opening day of the season. I think it was 2017. But he didn't score too many. But yeah, that then went into half time, and Spurs in the second half just came out a different side. Newcastle couldn't cope with them defensively. I think part of the problem for Newcastle was the lack of a defensive midfielder like John Joe Shelvey. If you're looking to be a good team, you can't play Shelvey as a sitting midfielder. He's an excellent passer of the ball, Shelvey, and probably would play quite well alongside someone who can do the dirty work. But Shelvey's he's without putting it horribly, but he's a bit lazy. He's not the sort of player you want as a number six in front of a not particularly great back four. To be honest, it's not a back four that's played together a lot. They've all sort of been thrown together. Manquillo's been there a while now, same with Fabian Schär, Dan Burn and Matt Targett. As good as they've been in recent weeks, they are still, new to playing with each other. So it's not what you need, really, and that was too easy for Spurs to get through it on multiple occasions today. Doherty put Spurs in front and scored what turned out to be the winner. Brilliant crossing, and Doherty did really well to adjust for it, considering it looked like there was another Spurs player who was going to head it in. He did quite well to adjust and put it in. Doherty had a superb game, and he looks a completely different player under Antonio Conte compared to Nuno and Jose Mourinho. He's playing really well at the moment. And Son got the third. Again, simple finish, really too easy for Tottenham to get through Newcastle's defence. The fourth was by Emerson, and the fourth was a superb goal by Tottenham. Brilliant play by Doherty, nice 1-2 with Kulusevski, and Emerson managed to just about get enough on it to put it in off the post. Emerson, he's a player who he has a good game every now and again, and I think he had a decent enough game today, but I still think Spurs need to improve on him in the summer. He's not really at the level of a Champions League contending side, to be honest. Maybe keep him as a squad player, but he shouldn't really be starting when everyone's fit for a team like Spurs, in my opinion. I think Spurs, you go Doherty on the right and either Sessegnon or Reguilon on the left for the best 11. But yeah, it made it 4-1 regardless, and Steven Bergwijn came off the bench to make it 5. Again, another player who is quite inconsistent, but is like a good option to have off the bench, really, with 20 minutes to go, I suppose. And he took his goal quite well. It's just too easy for Spurs to get past Newcastle's defence today in midfield. I couldn't understand why Bruno Guimaraes didn't start, considering There was a game a couple of weeks ago that I watched where I think it was his first start. It might have been against Southampton. He scored a brilliant goal, and I also thought he had quite a good game in that game. Yeah, again, no, their Newcastle's attack today didn't look the most threatening ever. I thought Saint-Maximin. I quite liked Saint-Maximin the first couple of years I watched him at Newcastle, but more recently, over the past 6 months or so, certainly since Christmas, whenever he's played, he just seems to spend so much of the game sat on the floor after, like, if he loses possession, he just cannot be bothered to, like, help the team win it back. Don't get me wrong, he's such an exciting player to watch when he's got the ball at his feet and he's like running 20 or 30 yards with it at a time. But off the ball, he doesn't do the work required, I don't think, for the team to, like be a good influence on the team, if that makes sense. I'm not going to say that he's Newcastle's problem. He obviously isn't. He, like, at the start of the season and the past 18 months before Eddie Howe came in, he was one of the players that were keeping Newcastle in the Premier League. Him and Callum Wilson, I think, were, the duo that were stopping Newcastle from getting relegated. There wasn't many goals coming from elsewhere. But Newcastle, I think they're safe now. I think in terms of relegation, I think Norwich and Watford are probably down now. And Everton, again, with another defeat today in a game that looked like, they could get something out of it, with West Ham not being in the best of form after a really good start to the season. They're doing well in the Europa League, but in the league, I think before today, they'd only won something like a third of their games out of the last, 20 or something, which, isn't great for a team going for top four. So I think Everton, that game against Burnley on Wednesday will be a massive game. And I think that is basically the race for 17th spot, because I think Leeds, Brentford and Newcastle are probably all just about safe now, with all their best players coming back. They've had a few injuries, all three of them, but I think especially Leeds with Phillips and Cooper back, that'll be a massive bonus for them. But Everton and Burnley, I think it's going to be a scrap to stay up in that final relegation spot. Out of those two, that's what I put my money on. Spurs, they're on joint points with Arsenal, but they've played 2 more games, so Spurs are well in it with top 4 shout now. Because if Crystal Palace cause an upset against Arsenal tomorrow night, and let's face it, Crystal Palace have looked good recently, so it's not, out of the realms of possibility. That leaves Spurs on equal points with just 1 game more, and they've still got to play Arsenal. So Arsenal, they need to keep up their good form if they want to get this 4th spot. And just looking at it, are Chelsea completely safe yet? I'm not 100% sure they are, which seems ludicrous considering how well they started the season. But obviously they've just had loads of problems recently, multiple problems with players being injured, like Reece James and Ben Chilwell. Obviously, the whole thing with the sanctions with Roman Abramovich being the owner, obviously, with the invasion in Ukraine. So that they're not completely out of it, completely sure of a top 4 spot yet. But anyway, it was a good game today to watch. Second half definitely anyway. First half maybe not so much, but anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.